Hello and welcome to the Zero Hanger TV mailbag, where we answer all your questions. Don't forget, if you'd like to send in a question or a hot take or a talking point, you can send them into our Instagram. We put up a post pretty much every Wednesday, and I'm joined by Jack, our AFL reporter. Mitch is on holidays, or he's got a day off or something. I don't know why he's not here, but welcome, Jack.
Thanks, Phoenix. Big shoes to fill.
Yep. So we're going to get straight into it. First one is from Joey Gove. More of a hot take, and he's saying that the Giants will beat Port this weekend. What do you reckon?
Yeah, interesting. Obviously, Giants and Port met just the one time this season, back in round 22 at Elliott Oval. Port won by 51 points. So Port have actually had the Giants' sort of measure in recent times. They haven't actually won against the Power since 2019, and that was at Adelaide Oval. So it's quite interesting. Obviously, though, the Giants are the best road team in the league this year. They've won 8 games away from home in 2023. So that's probably, they might actually buck the trend this weekend. They're playing in great form under first-year coach Adam Kingsley. He's got them playing really well. He sort of brought that Richmond style of play with the quick movement, surging football off turnover. So they could upset the Power, who were coming off a pretty bad loss against the Lions last week.
Yep, as Tom Green says, free smoke whenever you want it. So if you had to make a tip, who have you got?
We'll go Giants by a goal.
Yep, Giants by a goal. I think Port look pretty banged up, but I think they're going to just sneak over just because it's a home ground advantage. So I'm going to say Port by 2. All right, next one comes from Luke Boyle. Where do you think Harms is going to be playing next year? So James Harms.
Tough one. It sounds like it won't be at Melbourne. That's almost a given at this point. Obviously, he's found it pretty tough to break back into that side. Obviously, he's also hurt his hamstring throughout the final series as well. We heard during the week on the Tradies podcast from Cleary and McClure that there are probably 4 teams that have sort of expressed their interest in Harms to this point. So looking at Richmond, Sydney, Carlton and Essendon. And Cleary did actually say that apparently Harms toured Essendon last year. So yeah, we'll see how that one pans out. Obviously, Essendon may have their hands full in terms of their cap space if they do indeed sign Ben McKay to a lucrative deal. So we'll see how that pans out. But there do seem like there are 4 main teams that could be interested in him. Obviously, Richmond seems like a decent fit. They've got a pretty young list now, got some guys departing, and there could be some room in Sydney as well.
Yeah. So if you had to pick, where do you think he's most likely to go? Essendon?
I'll go Essendon just because of the links there, especially if McKay doesn't go to Essendon. I wouldn't rule out Richmond as a decent player either there.
Yeah. It'd be sad to lose him as a D's fan, but he hasn't really cracked into the team.
No harm's done, mate.
Yeah. All right. And so the last one. So we had a couple of questions and a couple of talking points come in about Port's trade situation. So they've got a lot going on at the moment. So it looks like Brodie Grundy is most likely heading to Sydney at the end of the year. It was down to Port and Sydney. It looks like he's heading to Sydney. And they've got 3 players that are most likely moving there in Brandon Zerk-Thatcher, Jordan Sweet and Salva Radicalea. So what do we do here?
Lots to break down. They've got their hands full this off-season due Port, and it's quite interesting. They're obviously in the midst of a finals campaign, but they're doing all their off-season dealings at the same time, it looks like. We have heard that Grundy has met with both the Power and the Swans. It sounds like he settled on the Swans as his club of the future, which then has left Jordan Sweet to officially request a trade from the Bulldogs to the Power. He's only played something like 11 games in his time at the Kennel, so he's been starved of senior opportunity, and it sounds like he's going to get the sole ruck role at Alberton if he does make the move. Obviously, then there's also Radicalea and Zerk-Thatcher, like he said. It sounds like all 3 of those deals are going to get done at some point. Obviously, Power have picks 37, 43, 72 and 90, so nothing really early. But then again, those guys may not really demand really high-end draft capital in return. So I think all 3 of those deals get done. But yeah, like really busy trade period for them. And Grundy does look like he's set to go to the Harbour City.
Yep. All good. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for the mailbag this week. Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Phoenix.
And don't forget, if you want to send something in, you can send it through on our Instagram at ZeroHanger, and you can catch all the latest AFL news at zerohanger.com.